We're recording?
Oh, what a professional group we are. Are we recording, Ron? Yes, we're recording, Karen.
Stop
Absolutely.
doing that.
You like this music?
Yes, I do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
It's from the 50s, Karen. It's not 60s like you like, or 70s. You okay with it?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, I like it too. Because that's what we're going to talk about here on Ronny Records Record Review, Rock and Roll, 50s, 60s, 70s music. So, are we excited about this?
Sure.
Well, I am. And do you know what this is, Karen?
It's a 78.
You know, Karen's my wife here, and maybe after living with me for over 20 years, she knows these things. Yeah, this is a 78 record. It's maybe something you don't know about, but let me tell you, this is a song right on here by Marty Robbins. It's called A White Sport Coat. Like one of the records we'll probably talk about in our record review.
Okay.
Now,
I have a hard time hearing you. This music.
you're having a hard time? What?
Music is
I
so
told
loud.
Karen when we started to do, we're supposed to have fun here. She's having way too much fun. But what I want to tell you, Karen, is we're going to continue to have fun, and we're going to be talking about records like this. Let me tell you, first of all, Marty Robbins singing A White Sport Coat
Can we talk
is...
about music like this?
You see what I mean? She's out of control already. She was supposed to help me, be my sidekick on this show, but oh no. It's already interrupting with her 60s music. Did you see what that was? It's one
Here,
of
in case everybody missed it,
See,
it's this.
They are, I want to get on the record right now, they are the enemy of rock and roll, okay?
No.
We're going to establish that. We'll argue about it later, okay, Karen? Because they are the enemy of rock and roll. Trust me. But we're not just talking about rock and roll here, especially in the 50s. A lot of the music was not rock and roll. It was what I'm going to call teenage music. You know, a lot of what this guy sang, did anybody see what this is? It's Ricky Nelson, Karen. Do you know Ricky?
Yeah.
Why? How do you know Ricky Nelson?
Uh,
Because I talk about him all the time, right?
He's your best friend.
He is my best friend. I grew up with Ricky. I knew Ricky and his family in the 50s, because actually back in the 40s, I used to lay in bed listening to their radio show, The Nelsons. Ricky was one of the kids, one of the Nelson kids, of course, and on the television show, he started his singing career.
Right.
Good-looking guy, very good-looking guy, took off. He was just a teenage idol. We're going to talk about his music, his contribution to that era. And, Karen, do you know what this is?
Cruising, yes. We used to cruise East 14th Street in San Leandro during my day with the windows down, the heater on, and the music as loud as you could get it. That was cruising.
That was cruising. You know, we called it in the 50s when we're going up and down Main Street in Salinas, we called it dragging Main. Wasn't called cruising at the time, but cruising became the popular term that people in the next generation copied. So they can go up down the street playing 60s music. We, of course, in the 50s play, oh, guess what, Ron? 50s music. This is 1957. It was called a long playing album because this record only had usually 2 songs, front and back, same with the 78. LP version came out 33 and a third RPM per minute on your turntable, so you could put 10, 15 songs on a record. So the fun with a long playing album that you don't usually see today because you're downloading music is you pull this out and you're more interactive with your music. You could read all about the groups or the group. It'd be you could spend an hour just looking at the notes.
And the inside folder. I remember reading the inside folder. Do you have an inside folder for that one?
I do somewhere. Don't embarrass me. There's not one in here right now, Karen.
Oh, well, next time.
Next time. Anyway, this is
You have
about...
to show them this inside folder.
Yeah.
Most people don't know what a 33 and a third is. But if you showed them the inside folder, remember what a CD was? And you had all the words to the song? Well, the inside folder had a lot of information about the group.
Yeah, and maybe other
You
groups
want me
they
to
wanted
teach this
to.
class?
No, actually, no. Although I'm sure you think you're qualified. This is not a class, Karen. This is supposed to be a fun show that people on YouTube could pull up and not just learn, because this is not the history of rock and roll. You can get a book on that. Or there's another YouTube video that this one guy, so he did a fantastic job of talking about the history of rock and roll. You're gonna get some of that here, but you're also gonna be able to, just have fun reminiscing, going down a nostalgic trail with me and my guest. And my guest, we'll talk about all kinds of music, mostly again from the 50s, 60s, 70s. And the reason I include the 70s is I love 70s music. I've learned through my sons. We're going to have one of my favorite guest speakers will be my son Randy, who's got a great voice.
I'm not a favorite guest speaker?
Well, you're number one favorite. He's number two favorite. Of course, when he shows up, he'll be number one favorite. Hopefully she won't know that, but he'll be here. And we might even get an interview with the drummer of Pablo Cruz.
Yes, Pablo Cruz. Yes.
Pablo Cruz.
Do you have a folder in there?
I probably do, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
We
but
do,
this is
look.
like the pictures of the band.
All right, but show them.
All right.
And it's got the word, not the words, but it's got the name of the songs and who produced it and pictures. You're looking, not showing. Look. See what I'm talking about?
Am I the leader of this group?
Pablo
Whoever.
Cruz, very good band. Oh, yes.
Some of you might remember A Place in the Sun and What You Gonna Do When You Don't Do. Great tunes.
Yeah.
And the
Place in
band,
the
I think this is
Yes.
the drummer who you might be able to hear from if Randy is able to talk him into joining
Yes.
our show.
Yeah.
So that'll
That's
be
what a
fun
folder
and
looks
interesting.
like.
So we're going to talk about, probably I'll kick off with a little bit of the history, but from my perspective, where I started off in the world of rock and roll, or what I call teenage music.
Okay.
Is that okay, Karen?
Yeah.
Fine?
So that's going to be our next YouTube. So
Oh,
this is kind of like the introduction right now.
Yeah.
And then, we need you to log back on and watch the next episode, which should be coming very soon.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
If we're diligent enough to do that,
We will.
and I get enough
And I just want to say
it's been-
thank you for inviting me to be on your very first episode. This was very nice. I appreciate it. Thank you. I love you.
My goodness, now I'm getting all teary-eyed here,
Yeah.
Karen.
So fans and future friends, please come back again. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Karen. That was awesome. So next time we will continue with much of the same.
Okay.
All right.
Thank